J Mac from Syracuse, New York. Man, came all the way out to see my Colorado Buffs.
What channel do you watch? They brought you out here.
The Pregame show.
Never watched the college game till last season when Coach Prime came to Colorado. And I am in Colorado at Folsom Field. I am the Colorado Buffaloes auntie from Texas. Sweet treat.
Hey, I've been following the Pregame show. It's all about let's go Buffs.
Way from Texas. Yes, sir. Watch you every single day. Nobody lays it down like Uncle Neely and the Pregame show.
Neely, Pregame show behind the scenes for everything. And why does he get that kind of access? Why does he get that kind of access? Because trust is involved. You would never get the kind of access you desire unless there's trust and relationship. You're trying to put you up on game.
Speaking of guys who spent some time around Coach Prime a little bit, we got our guy. Man. Been too long. Great to see him. I don't think Unc or Scotty could really hear that interview, so we'll keep the reactions to it brief. But to me, I just loved what he said, which illuminates something to me. Because I asked him, why have you been such a believer in what Coach Prime did? And he basically said, in more eloquent words, he's just different than everyone else.
Yeah.
And no one else can really replicate that. And if you don't believe that he is going to figure this out and be great at it, it just means you haven't really ever met him.
Right.
And that's kind of the way that I think a lot of people feel about it. It's just when you just walk into a room, or when he walks into a room that you're in and you just feel all eyes, all of the air, everything is just focused on him. There's just a different level of magnetism that Coach Prime has that you just can't replicate in any other way, and I thought he did a great job of explaining that.
Totally. What's up, Unc?
All good in the hood, brothers. How y'all feeling?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Call it. Good to see you.
Man, it's good to be seen. They always say that the basketball tournament, the playoffs, it doesn't start till the home team loses.
That is
or the
true.
road team wins.
Right.
College football doesn't start till media day. It is now football time in America.
That's exactly what I posted when I walked in here. I said, this is how you know football season is almost around the corner. I think I saw these guys next to us were telling someone 57 days.
Let's go.
Until the season starts, which maybe that makes it 56 for us.
Yeah.
Right.
A little over 7 weeks, right around there.
Oh, man. What a great feeling that is.
I'm just loving it because we're finally in a month that it happens in that month.
Oh, yeah.
We report back Sunday the 27th for a team meeting, July 27th.
Yep.
And we're in July now. So it's okay, it's here. And now we're just counting down the days, and Monday the 28th, that first practice. All right, now we're ready. We're in the same month now.
Yes.
Yeah, Scotty just keeps saying there's a game next month.
Next month. That's
we're finally at that point.
What I'm finding solace in right now. So what do you make of both of these quarterbacks for Colorado being here at Media Day? What do you think that says about those two guys in particular, where the competition might be as we sit here on July 8th?
Heated, close, tough, and Coach Prime is doing well within his rights, but also going out of his way to make sure everyone has an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I really think, Scott, that a lot of folks still don't grasp 3 seasons in Colorado how much off the field matters to Coach Prime. Not just going to breakfast, which is mandatory, but checking in.
Yeah.
The guy taking the roll is right there, but you can go get a plate, but if you don't go to him and say, I'm here, you didn't go.
Right.
Being in your seat 15 minutes before meetings. Of course, the academics matter. Coach Prime considers all things before you get that L or that D on your jersey. And I think in this quarterback situation, what a better atmosphere to put both of these guys in.
Right.
And all things matter. And if it matters, you measure it. So he's bringing both quarterbacks. That old adage in college football, even professional football, if you got 2 QBs, you ain't got one, that really doesn't apply to Colorado right now. We got 2 talented quarterbacks who are going at this competition in the right mindset. It's as DJ McKinney puts it, is competitive without being combative.
Right.
But both of their presence here says to both of them, I ain't made my mind up yet.
For sure.
Show me something.
And just to add to that, like, if I had the opportunity to talk to both of these 2 guys off camera or whatever, what I would want to tell them is Coach Prime misses nothing.
Yeah.
He's like Santa Claus when you're a kid. Like, he knows exactly what you're doing. Everything that you're doing is being graded or at least filed. And you have to understand who you're following in the footsteps of, not just for 1 or 2 years, but for 10 years?
Yeah.
You're following in the footsteps of a guy whose nickname is Grown, and who has been acting like a grown-ass man since he was a child. And the way that he carried himself, and the way that he went about his business, and the way that he did everything was all to a certain level. And your job is to get as close to that, if not surpass it, in everything that you do. And
surpassing it is possible. It is not this far-fetched standard or metric that no one can achieve. You know, Shedeur Sanders, for lack of a better description, set the standard. Like, okay, he's the mold that you want your college QB to be. And it's attainable. Like, you know, you've seen him in the building. You've seen him be in his seat 15 minutes before. You've seen him check in at breakfast. You've seen the example of film study. Never once was his name on the screen for lack of preparation. You know, so all these things matter. It's not just the command of the offense, because the team is not going to follow a guy that's not leading in all areas.
Right.
Coach Swayze, strength and conditioning, he loves to say it. He's like, you can't lead in the game and not lead here.
Period.
Yeah. Like, that make any sense? Who's going to follow you on the field during the game, and they're smoking you out here doing strength and conditioning? Like, you got to lead in both facets.
One of the first things Marshall Falk said when he addressed the team, was how you do anything is how you do everything. And I know that Coach Prime feels the same way. How you handle yourself in meetings, how you handle yourself in the locker room, at breakfast, in front of the media. All of it is being judged 1%, all right? I think that's fair. Like, 1% is being added into the formula of trying to decide who's going to be the guy under center.
And as RK said, it all matters.
Right.
You know, he may not have a little punch list and he's writing down notes and putting in his back pocket, but he sees everything, he observes everything, and at the end of the day, everything is going to go into the process of making a decision. Not just, oh, that was a tight spiral.
And it's not like Shedeur, you know, I'm just thinking like early morning, breakfast meetings, these sorts of things. It's not like Shedeur is like a morning person where he wakes up and he's super chipper at 7 a.m. Like, he didn't want to wake up that early either, but you saw him, he's in there in his seat, ready, you know, notebook out, because he understood that was the standard, and he also understood that his dad, Coach Prime, makes no exceptions to the standard. And, you know, it's a little different for someone like Shiloh, who, you know, definitely likes to push the boundaries a little bit, but he's not the quarterback.
Yeah.
And when you're the quarterback, you don't get a little leash to push the boundaries or anything like that. You, like you said, have to lead in every single facet. And so I look at this quarterback competition different than I would if really any other person was the head coach, because I understand that Coach Prime doesn't play about any of the aspects that he thinks goes into this formula.
And he came into this season, guys. So last year the goal was get Miss Peggy to a bowl game. Check, did that. He's going into this season saying it's back here in Dallas in the first weekend of December, or we failed. We have to be in the Big 12 championship and win it, or the season was a failure. That's the standard.
Period.
To get to that, what he told us in January in the team meeting is this year everything matters. I don't care how small a detail it is, paper on the floor, parking lot, you know, parking outside the line, everything matters. If it's something we're measuring, we're going to make it matter and keep up with it, because we got to get disciplined so we're not getting these penalties. Right. We got to be in shape and have depth all throughout the season. Everything matters. Everything is on the table. Everything is being evaluated. And that goes to the quarterbacks, to safety, to offensive line. It doesn't matter who you are.
To the other coaches.
To the other coaches. It doesn't matter who you are in the building. It is constant evaluation, because the goal has changed this year.
Yeah. I mean, the quarterbacks will be here. They're going to be the story. But DJ, Jordan, they're going to be here. Motto will be here as well. But DJ and Jordan just named to preseason all Big 12 team, first team. And you've seen Jordan step up and really assume that leadership role. Just what have you seen from DJ and Jordan in those roles as they it's a program in transition, really?
Embracing it. It would be easy to just say, okay, by default, I'm the leader now. Right. But no, I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to do all these things we've been talking about in the team because I want the coaches to see it. I want my teammates to see it. I want everybody to believe in me, and that's why they were selected to be here. Of course, the quarterbacks are going to command the attention. That's the nature of the beast. But I can't wait for the world to see Jordan Seaton in this new body, and I can't wait for the world to hear DJ McKinney and what he brings, his mindset to this year of football and what he wants to accomplish for this team. I don't know if Coach Prime could have selected, a better group of guys to be here than we has, because these are the dudes that if we're going to be successful, they got to be successful.
Right. How have you kind of seen that transition too, though? Like obviously Shedeur, Travis, Shiloh, Cam. I mean, we can go on and on. Like leaders of the team from last year, and it's different for Coach too. But like, how has that kind of set in for everyone? Like, I mean, it's obviously new faces in higher places too. So just
I think you felt it this spring. You walked in the building in February. It was like, oh man, the guys are gone.
Yeah.
And then when you saw them working out, getting ready for pro day, it kind of put a little bandage over the wound of them not being there because you were still seeing them. But by the time you got to May and then summer one, it's like, okay, this is the team. There is no Travis. We don't have a Batman and Robin, whichever way to flip it. We don't have a guy that he's just going to make it happen and get us out of trouble. Yeah. Like, we got to have all facets and phases of this game clicking. I totally agree. It's not just a sales pitch that this team is a better team than it was last year, but you don't have the Justice League anymore, where you just, don't worry about it. They're going to beat Lex Luthor. Everything will be fine. Like, no. Like, we got to have a run game.
Yep.
Okay? We can't give up big plays in the secondary. We got to be able to stop the run. Like, everything is going to matter with this team because we don't have that margin of error that other folks' talent used to make up.
And sometimes that helps a team. Sometimes it's too easy to, especially for young guys, to look out there and be like, Shedor's got us. Travis has got us. Like, you see those guys at practice and you're like, yeah, man, nobody's covering him. Nobody's stopping Shedeur from throwing for 300 yards. And when those guys are gone, you start to, like, look around and you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
There's no one to do that. Like, I'm the guy. Yeah. I'm the guy who now has to step up. On a different note, when Coach Prime first got to Colorado, I remember there was a lot made about him wanting to run out for the TCU game. Yes. It was kind of like a stated goal. I'm going to make this happen. I'm pushing towards that. In a much smaller sense, I almost feel like making an appearance here at Big 12 Media Days was like another kind of thing that Coach Prime pointed to and said, like, okay, I want to be healthy for that. Is that fair to kind of say?
I think all of that is fair because he wants to be the best Coach Prime he can be. But I think we also have to get some juxtaposition against what really matters. And I think what matters more than a media day appearance is that July 27th team meeting appearance. And you don't want to do anything to reset something and start over. And let's keep this in mind, guys. This is third media day. He's missed one before.
Yeah.
And we kicked ass. The season doesn't necessarily – success of the season doesn't hinge on, the appearance at media day. But, Coach is going to make the best decision for him as far as his interactions, his travel, and what he does. Had a text exchange with him, just yesterday. And, he's up and at him, man. I'm looking forward to the season.
Love it, man.
Same. Looking forward to seeing him.
He is that dude. And, what y'all were talking about earlier with the guest that Scotty and I couldn't hear. Some of the times Deion Sanders will say things about Coach Prime, and people just think that's from his little black book. He really doesn't mean it, But the guy really does change the temperature of a room when he walks in.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Like, people behave differently when he's around. Haters or lovers.
Every time.
And so when he says, hey, man, I want to adjust to the temperature adjusted me. Like, it's not as cliche. He does it. Like, the mood changes when he's around. The standard elevates when he's around. Like my drunk uncle used to say, the bullshit stops when the tailgate drops. And so when you're letting the dogs out, Coach Prime is that dude, man.
Well, I feel like everyone's had someone that they've been around when they were younger who maybe was like the star football player or whatever in high school, where it's like everyone acts a little different around them. Everyone's trying. The girls are making sure their hair is right. The guys are like they make a joke, they look to see if he laughs. Like Coach Prime is that, but he's like the number one version of that. Like all of those people that you know that were like that would do that when he walks in.
Yeah, and I think people lose track of that was him before he was coaching.
It's always been
like
him.
that's him.
Yeah.
And so when he becomes your coach, that comes with it. Like he literally is one of the most recognizable people in the world. He is a A-list celebrity that coaches football. And what a beautiful combination to have in Boulder, Colorado.
Amen.
Totally.
So where y'all from?
We up from Miami, Florida.
All the way from Miami.
All the way from Miami.
Appreciate y'all coming, man.
Hey, man, we love what you guys are doing, man. We want to support you in every way.
Appreciate your family.
And we're recruiting at home. Everything we see at home, we bring it this way.
My man.
You gotta believe. Dude, we've been believing since day one,
That's why I
dog.
gave it to
Remember
you.
back in Jackson State? We've been believing with you in the pregame show.